With half of all holiday shopping done online, you now have to compete for attention, for traffic, for conversions, in a whole new arena, the online arena. One out of every two purchases for the holidays will be done via online shopping. If you've relied on in-store shopping in the past, you might need to adapt. If you're a smaller business looking to make a splash, you have an opportunity and a huge market of consumers. If you're a non-e-commerce or retail business, that doesn't mean that you can't participate. More people will be online than ever, and digital or non-physical products or services are just as marketable as something that ships in the mail.
This year's going to be different. It's going to be tricky because there's new competitor out there that we've all been forced to face, and it's online and offline. And that new competitor is, do you know what it is?
Uh,
Yeah,
is it COVID?
logistics.
Uh,
So the supply chain. So this is something that we're all competing against and figuring out. So I think that is a key part to the success of any. So to think 3 to 4 months ahead is not just to think about your campaigns, but also think about how logistics is going to play a big part in that. So that would be that. Uh, to expand on that more, focusing on back order specials, pre-order specials, buy now, pay later, fear of missing out, FOMO messaging. Stores are really going to have to up their game when it comes to merchandising and inventory control. Retailers who have used are just going to, be content with using kind of a cookie cutter campaign approach that they used last year, 40% off or whatever. It's not going to work like that, and it can get them in some big trouble too. So I think a lot of things when it comes to planning this year, there's going to be more than just thinking about the traditional thoughts, but it's that supply chain. And
okay.
yeah, so COVID is kind of the answer, but even more specific, the logistics of the supply chain.
I mean, that's part of the challenge with that is there's this big time. And for a lot of businesses, maybe it's 70% of their revenue, right? I mean, they're very dependent on this big time and they always wait till like, okay, what are we going to do now?
Right.
And I think that it's like a lot of things. You actually start planting the seeds. You are actually start building relationships all year long. That's going to give you the opportunity then to maybe send 10 emails in a month or something when that would feel a little heavy if you did that all the time. So you sort of earn the right to get extra promotional in that time when their intent to buy is really high.
Our customers take this opportunity to ask for referrals for next year, or they actually do customer surveys. So we use ActiveCampaign to do customer surveys. It doesn't have to be product specific, it can be customer service specific. So how did we do this year, or for products, what can we improve for the products next year? Shall we offer something else? Maybe there is a gap somewhere where you can create a new product or a new course. I assume non-e-com businesses are creating courses and programs. So that's why I'm using those examples.
No, I love that a lot. And that's something that I think it gets overlooked, right? You kind of lose the forest for the trees where you're so close to your business that you kind of know, okay, I have to do this thing. I have to do this thing. I have to do this thing. But then you don't really take the time to ask your customers, how are we doing? How are we doing at the things that we're actually doing? And what are the things that you would like to see more of? So do you think that like referral sort of asking your audience for recommendations for what you should do next year, does that have a big impact in your experience on your customers or the businesses that they manage?
Yeah, well, you're surprised what type of answers you get. So this is us working with other clients who are doing this, and they are also surprised. They don't expect to hear about I don't know, I can't think off the top of my head now, but the answers they assume they get, they don't actually get. It's something completely missed. And it's so refreshing when you hear it from the customer, from your actual customer, because that's how they see you, that's how they perceive you. They're looking at you objectively. There's just a lot of gold nuggets you can get from those answers.
A good example we have is a lady that specializes in selling cat products, for cats. And she always had this assumption that it's only cats because that's what the marketing is. But there's like 10% of her customer base that actually buys it for dogs. And we basically decided to investigate that, and we used this very simple Active Campaign form and started to put that in our automations to continuously kind of ask, hey, what's your household, what's the environment, how many pets do you have, are they a cat or a dog or other? And we started to get feedback from customers going, yeah, I have a dog and a cat, or I have 2 dogs. So it is very interesting to hear that feedback, and kind of slap on the face, for you as a business owner to go, well, maybe I shouldn't make assumptions about my customers.
Yeah.
Successful businesses from whatever 5,000 years ago when they were selling pottery in Babylon to today, if you can follow the 3 basic steps, how do you get them there, how do you get them to buy, and how do you get them to come back, then you'll be successful. So that how do you get them to come back? A lot of companies don't really put time and energy in that. And that's the retention marketing strategy that we've been talking about. Your customer lifetime value is so important. And like we talked about before, the amount of money it takes to market to a customer who already loves, likes, and trusts you versus a new one, it's not even close. So
Right.
I wish companies would pay attention more to kind of that. Creating, I think throughout the year, creating custom email touch points, remind them that you care. Don't just say, we care and here's whatever. Really put some thought into it. A lot of companies are lazy and it's just easy. But like, for example, a monthly email that shows how much credit they've earned via your loyalty program. Maybe a VIP email letting them know, hey, we put $20 credit on your account to use at any time because you've been a customer for a year or 2 years. Yeah, it's a marketing thing, but it's also, lets the customer know that the next time they shop, it's like, oh, but I've got $20 there and it's going to bring them back. So it's a way, and I think money, it's a cliche, but money talks. And so it really helps people come back and be loyal.
And to me, it's almost like seeing Active Campaign or your database with customers as a belly of an octopus, and then everything like the tentacles are basically just the channels to bring the customers in. So thinking about all the ways how you interact with your customers from before they make a purchase, during, and after. And if you are looking to grow your business, like many of us want to grow our business, then you really need to start thinking about investing. So if you are, if you're not able to get enough data, what type of plan of Active Campaign do you need to have? And I always think about, if you're serious about growing your business and you're doing all the paid advertising, you're doing all the organic traffic, you're investing your time, energy, and money, then it makes sense to understand exactly the conversion points. Like how do you convert this customer? How did this lead find you?
How well do you know your customers? How much better could you know them? What doors would that open for you if you did know them that much better? As we've heard a few times here, your holiday or end of year planning shouldn't ever stop. So what can you do looking forward after this period of time is ended to help you out in future years? Hi, thank you for watching. If you are enjoying Growth Decoded, you can find a link in the description to sign up and join the Grow team. You'll get exclusive content and opportunities that have to do with the show. You can also hit the subscribe button for Active Campaign's YouTube channel somewhere down here, and you will never miss an update from us.